Tee Higgins is playing the best football of his career right now, and the Bengals are absolutely loving it. And that could be a problem for him because if he keeps this up, he could very well end up in the same situation that he just went through. And in this video, I'll explain exactly what that could look like. What's up, Bengals fans? John Sheeran of A2Z Sports Cincinnati, and the numbers and the tape, well, they match pretty clearly with Tee Higgins. He is playing fantastic football right now for the Bengals. Ever since he returned from his hamstring injury in Week 3, the Bengals offense has not only been better because of his presence, he himself is putting up the best numbers of his career. His 5.8 receptions per game as it stands would be a career high for him, and his 68.2 yards per game, that would be his highest since 2021. If you were to list the reasons why the Bengals are now out of this 1-4 hole that they got themselves into, Tee Higgins would be near the top of that list, along with Joe Burrow, along with Jamar Chase. Like we talked about this a few weeks ago after the Bengals got their win over the Panthers, Tee is firmly in this group, along with Jamar Chase and Trey Hendrickson, of players that the Bengals absolutely need to prioritize. And all of that sounds great for Tee. His value is obviously very high and it's showing itself on the field, but let's be honest here. The more that this becomes the case as the year progresses, the more likely it is the Bengals just tag him again next year. That, of course, would be the last thing that Tee would want after just going through that mess this year, but if the Bengals feel like they can do it, I'm not sure that they would care. They're definitely going to have the cap space to do so. They're projected to have $65 million in space next year, and that's not even including the rollover that they always do every single year. And they know right now what the cost would be to tag Tee again. It's 120% more than what it was the previous year, so it'll be about $26 million next year. And if the cap takes another dramatic jump like it did this past year, they can definitely absorb that. So we have a player that the Bengals would like to keep around because they've been trying to do that for the past year. We have an established cost that wouldn't require any negotiation from the player's side, and we have an understanding that they could afford this cost. Seems to match up to me. But again, if you're Tee Higgins, this is the worst possible outcome. You're doing everything in your power to make sure that when you do hit the open market, you're going to get the best possible deal, especially after you had a down year in 2023. But all you're really doing is just giving the Bengals more reason to just keep you around for one more year. Now, I should add that double tagging a player is a very rare practice in the NFL, and the Bengals have never actually done this, but I do feel like Tee Higgins is a very unique case. The Bengals have always valued receiver talent, and even if he's not exactly Jamar Chase or AJ Green, he's not that far off. One of the reasons people point to why the Bengals weren't able to extend Jesse Bates is that they just didn't value the safety position enough, but that's never been the case for wide receivers, especially star wide receivers. The Bengals have tried to work things out with Tee. Tee has stated many times that he would love to stay here. It just wouldn't shock me if the Bengals have already decided that, hey, if Tee stays healthy and he plays well enough like he's doing right now, then we're just going to eat that $26 million because we can. We're not going to let him join another team when he's playing this well. And you know for damn sure that the Bengals are not interested in trading one of their star players because, again, they don't want to make other teams better. Now, all of this would be avoidable if, I don't know, both sides are able to come together for an extension. Unfortunately, though, if it hasn't happened by now, it probably won't happen this offseason, especially if Tee puts together a career year. That's only going to up the price. There's still half a season to go, and anything could happen. But as of right now, Tee is showing exactly how valuable he is in this offense, and if the Bengals are smart, they will not let him get away this offseason for nothing. Unfortunately for Tee, though, that could just mean him reliving the same bad dream in 2025.